Good evening, everybody. My name is Joni-jacobs. I have a music YouTube channel, but I'm going to put this on my music channel. My channel is basically for my kids and my grandkids and great-grandkids to have when I'm no longer here. I'm not going anywhere soon, so don't worry about that. Not unless the good Lord decides to take me there. I wanted to tell y'all my story of my life and my journey on YouTube. I prayed about it and prayed about it and prayed about it, and something kept nagging me and nagging me and nagging me. So here it is. This is not going to be in one video. I'm 70 years old, fixing to be 71. So it's not going to be a short story, but I will try to do the main parts and maybe get it in 3, maybe 4 videos. I'll try not to keep them too long. But anyway, let me start. I was born in Albany, Georgia, on the cotton mill village, Flint River Textiles. It was called Flint River Cotton Mill. My daddy worked in the cotton mill for years and years and years. And we were basically raised on the mill village where the cotton mill workers lived. Some of them anyway. But anyway, we didn't have a lot of money. We grew up poor, but we grew up in a loving family. I say loving, but it was kind of dysfunctional loving family. When I was 6 years old, let's skip to where I'm 6 years old because I don't remember anything too much before that. When I was 6 years old, my mother left my dad, and he left me and 3 brothers. It destroyed my world. I was a mama's girl. And for years and years and years, I didn't understand what was going on. I was angry. I was hateful to everybody. I was rebellious. I was a mean little shit. I was even mean to my older brothers. All my brothers were older than me. The 3 from what I call the first litter. My dad had other kids after him and mom divorced. But anyway, through the years, I held a lot of anger for my mom. But in the end, she came and stayed with me because somewhere along the line, I promised her she would not die in a nursing home or a hospital. So she died at my home in 2023, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, my mind's not good. I've been in too many wrecks. But long story short, I actually hated my mom when she left. I grieved. I basically starved myself to death. I was in the hospital for a week. They didn't know if I was going to make it or not after my mom left. I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't drink. I wouldn't sleep. My hair started falling out. I was so malnutritioned that they gave me iron so potent that it turned my teeth black. Okay, let's skip from that. Over the years, let's go on up to maybe my junior high school years, or right before. No, let's go to my 3rd grade. 2nd and 3rd grade. 2nd grade, we moved. We moved out in the country, and I was transferred to another school. I loved it. I loved my teacher. So we moved again, and I transferred again. And all this is in the 2nd grade. So I didn't like my 2nd grade teacher, and I was mad as hell at my daddy for moving because I loved my other teacher. I went the whole year. I did not speak to anybody. I was mean as hell. I didn't speak to anybody at school. The teacher wanted to know if I had some kind of learning disability or speech disability. And my daddy told him, hell no, she don't. She talks like she can't stop at home. But anyway, long story short, this is part of my life where I'm rebellious and angry as hell and really don't give a shit who I hurt. Skipping to 3rd grade. 3rd grade, I was really rebellious as hell. I ran away from school every chance I got. They had police out hunting me. I'd do my homework and I'd throw it away on the way home to school. So finally, my daddy got wind of it, and he made my brother take my homework into my teacher every day. I hated her. Her name was Miss I don't know if I ought to give her name or not. But anyway, I won't. I don't even know if she's alive anymore. But anyway, she was redhead, and we butted heads every chance we got. But skipping on up to junior high school, or right before junior high school, we moved again. We moved a lot back then. We moved into Cotton Mill Supervisor's house, which was a brick house, instead of the old wood floors Cotton Mill worker house. So we moved on up to the east side, you know. Anyway, during the time we lived in that house, I was in junior high school. During the time I was in that junior high school, a lot of things happened, traumatic things. And I blame my daddy, I blame my mama, I blame the world. I hated everybody. I hated everybody. I even hated God. But during that time, I was traumatized. I'll just say 3 boys in the neighborhood in a empty building. And you can draw your own pictures as to what happened. And not only that, I was traumatized again by a relative. Twice. 2 relatives. But a lot of therapy and counseling and stuff in my adult years got me through that. A lot of people don't know what happened to me. Even a couple of my kids don't know what happened to me. There's one that knows, but the other 2 do not know what happened to me. And this is not to get pity or sympathy or anything like that. This is just to let you know and be an inspiration that you can get through the hard things. Give it to God and let it go. Go to counseling. Counseling helps. Group therapy helps. All therapy helps. Do what you've got to do to get through it. But don't let it beat you. This happened when I was 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old. Over that span of time. And I'm okay. I forgave a lot of people that didn't apologize. And I've hurt a lot of people that I've apologized for. And if I hadn't apologized to you for something I've done, I'm very sorry. Maybe you need to come to me and talk to me. Whatever it is I done, let me know. You don't have to. I mean, whatever it was, I apologize. I've not been the best person. I've not been the best mother. I've not been the best of anything. But I do the best I can. And when you realize that you can't please everybody and that you're doing the best you can with what you got, that's all that matters. I just hope I can be an inspiration telling my life story. Anyway, let's move on to the teenage years. Now, teenage years, I was rebellious as hell. Reason being, while we were growing up, my dad disciplined us, but how he disciplined us today would be out and out child abuse. I mean, actually, when a father takes a leather belt and whips you and whips you and whips you until you piss on yourself, that's child abuse. I forgave him for it a long time ago. We had a very good relationship when he passed away. But all of us kids got a dose of that. It was hard. I love my daddy. I've always loved my daddy. But during that time, I learned to keep my mouth shut. I've been a quiet person. I don't say what's on my mind. Back then, if you said what was on your mind, you got your ass beat again. Daddy would call it pouting. You're pouting. You're pouting. And I just say nothing because I knew that if I said anything, I would get my ass beat again. Anyway, he was very controlling, very strict. And moving on up to junior high. When you get in junior high, you kind of get a little crush, boyfriend, whatever. My dad strictly said, no, ain't happening, no. So then he opened a place in Albany called The Barn, where he played music. I've been around music all my life. He played music before I was born. And he opened a place called The Barn. And anyway, I love to dance. I've always loved to dance. And there was a guy that used to come there, and he wanted me to go out. I was 15 and a half, almost 16. Anyway, my daddy said, not no, but hell no. I wanted to go out with him. I thought a lot of him. In fact, we're still friends. But that's an apology I haven't had a chance to make in person. My daddy said, no, he's not good enough for you. If you date him, I will kick you out of the house. If you have anything to do with him, I will kick you out. At 15 and a half, what do? You do what your daddy tells you to do. So it wasn't long after that, my daddy hired a musician that he thought I ought to be with. So, but I was allowed to go out with him, and we got engaged, but I couldn't marry him until I was 18. So what did I do? I rebelled. I'll show you, Daddy. I skipped school one day with my husband-to-be, and we went to Alabama. We went and picked my mother up, and she signed for me to get married. My daddy blew the roof off. But by the time we got back, he had cooled down. Anyway, you could pretty much say it was kind of an arranged marriage and kind of a way to escape the home I was in. A lot of turmoil, a lot of pain. Like I said, I love my daddy. I'll always love my daddy. He had his good ways, but he also had a mean streak in him. My daddy could love you to death, and then he could beat you half to death. All in the same day. Now, to my mother. When my mother left, I didn't see her again for years. I had a lot of anger, a lot of animosity, a lot of questions. Why didn't you take me with you? You took the boys with you, but you didn't take me with you. I'm your daughter. Why didn't you take me with you? And those are questions that were never answered. Why did you and Daddy split up? Well, I know the answer to that. My daddy was running around on my mother, and she had had a bait of it. That's under the bridge. But the other questions, I'll never have an answer to it, and it doesn't matter anymore. I forgave my mama for what she did, and when she lived with me before she died, we got everything straightened out. Now, moving on. The guy I married, we had a son. I'm trying not to give any names here because I don't feel like that it's necessary. But anyway, my husband ran around on me. So, he was, I guess what you call, narcissist. I couldn't have any friends. I had no control over anything that went on in the household. He gave me money and told me what to buy at the grocery store to eat. If we went anywhere, it was because he wanted to go, not because I wanted to go. And it really affected my son. We fussed and fought and argued and argued and argued and argued. And finally, I caught him running around on me. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. I knew he was doing it, but I didn't have evidence. But I caught him. Anyway, that's also water under the bridge. I forgave him a long time ago. Like I said, we married for the wrong reasons. And we brought a child into this. So, instead of the arguing and fussing and fighting and blah, 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 we got a divorce. My son was basically traumatized by the whole ordeal. And to this day, he throws it up in my face, everything that I've done or didn't do. And at least 100 times, I have asked him to forgive me and told him I'm sorry. Well, I thought we had everything all straightened out, but evidently we don't. But that'll be on down the line. Anyway, let's get to high school. My dad told me in high school I wanted to play basketball. He told me, if you can make the team, you can play. Needless to say, I busted my ass to make the basketball team. I made the team. As short as I am, 5'1", little scrawny me, made a basketball team. Well, when I came home with the paper that said I made the team, he said, well, you can't go because I can't get you back and forth to games. And I'm like, I'll never trust you again. I'll never trust you again. So needless to say, in 10th grade, I failed everything except band and PE on purpose. Got my ass tore up every time I got my grades, but that was a I'll show you deal. Yeah, I'm stubborn, and I can be right hateful, and I can do things that are spiteful, but most of them hurt me and not somebody else. I learned that the hard way. But anyway, we'll get to the point where my dad was remarried. He remarried the woman he was running around on with my mama. I have a half-brother and half-sister, which I don't call them half-brother and half-sister. While my stepmother, who I also call Mama, she's also passed away, was pregnant with my brother, or half-brother, my dad cheated on her. But that's here nor there. I won't give up the whole thing on that because I promised my mother I wouldn't. Anyway, during that time, also, my mother had another son. Around the time that my sister was born. You guys can put 2 and 2 together if you want to. Anyway, it just ironic. I know the truth. Nobody else does. My mama told me the truth before she died. But that's here nor there either. What I'd like to say is, please don't let circumstances beat you. You're not broken. You're bent. And even if you are broken crayons still color. And even if the paintbrush is broke, you can still paint. It's called finger painting. Anyway, this is just some things that I needed to tell. I'm not done by a long shot, but to become the person I am today, it's been a long, hard road. I can say it's been times of trauma, times of hate, times of selfishness, times of I don't give a shit anymore. We'll get to that later too. But there's times when I didn't even want to live. But guess what? God saw me through it. God knew all this was going to happen before it ever happened. And I have to believe that He lets things happen for a reason. I would not be the person I am today if things had not have happened like they were. Would I have liked them not to have happened? Yeah, I would have. I was traumatized for a long, long time, but I don't dwell on it. I'm better now. I'm happy. I've got a good life. I don't have everything I want, but I've got everything I need. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much longer. I'm trying to keep them under 30 minutes. But we will take back up at high school and marriage on the next one. I just want y'all to know that I love each and every one of you. I have no hard feelings towards anybody anymore. I've had to cut family off for my peace of mind. It don't mean that I don't love them and I don't care for them. We'll get to that later on down the line too. And like I said, it don't mean that I don't love them, and it don't mean that I don't care about them. It just means that sometimes you have to do things for your own peace of mind. And that is exactly what I did. And I don't see things changing because it's been going on, off and on, off and on, off and on. I've asked a million times to be forgiven and apologized a million times. I'm tired of apologizing. I'm tired of asking forgiveness when you said you already did. But anyway, I don't do that anymore. I ask one time and I apologize one time. If that's not enough, then that's your problem, not mine. The rest is between you and God, because me and God have already talked about it. And I'm not going to be unhappy. I'm not going to be not peaceful anymore. I do what I want to do when I want to do it. I'm at peace. I enjoy my life. And if people don't like it, oh well, that's on them. This is between me and God, and nobody else. Me and God are at peace. Just let me tell you, me and God are at peace. I'm not planning on going anywhere anytime soon, hopefully. I'm in good health. I'd keep busy as a 70-year-old can. But I just want y'all to know, I will continue this. I don't know. The next one will probably be on the stage. I'm in my shop right now, babysitting some projects, some epoxy projects, and doing some t-shirts and stuff that keeps my mind occupied, and I enjoy doing it. Like I said, I do what I want, when I want, and how I want to do it, because I'm at that age that I don't give a shit what anybody thinks anymore. I really don't. I really, really, really don't. And if that irks somebody, oh well, that's your problem. I'm not going to be bothered with it. If you want to cause drama in my life, I will cut you off. I cut off family members. I've cut off blood family members, because I'm not going to let you disturb my peace anymore. Anyway, I will let y'all go. The next one I do will probably be in a couple of days, but I will be doing it on the sound stage. I'm probably going to be putting up some music videos here in the next couple of days, and I will do my next video on the sound stage. Like I said, I'm in my shop and I'm busy, and I'm in between projects, and I'm babysitting some epoxy projects. So anyway, y'all have a blessed and awesome night. And just remember, God loves you. You can get through anything. I'm living proof. You're going to find out some things that most people probably would have never gotten through. But I'm glad I did. God saw me through it. And now it's mine to tell, so that maybe I can motivate or help somebody else dealing with stuff that I've dealt with. It's not for pity, not for sympathy. Maybe I can inspire you to deal with it. Maybe not through anger or lashing out or spiting yourself because of somebody else. Oh, Lord knows I've done my share of that, and it only hurt me. But anyway, y'all have a blessed and awesome night, and I love you, each and every one. And I'll be back in a couple of days with the next video. I love y'all so much. Y'all be blessed.